Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and oh boy, it's May 29th, which means it's Mega Ban Day, and, well, nobody's terrifically surprised, but everybody's kind of surprised slash disappointed slash angry that they didn't go further with this. All they've done is taken, like, Tier 1 and eliminated half the decks, so now there's going to be less deck variety, while also leaving the most annoying archetypes still in the game, like Hyper Control and Mono Blue Haughty Jin. Spoiler alert, they didn't ban that, so let's get to what they did ban. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, aka Freaky Jeeky, Invoke Despair because of course, and Reckoner Bankbuster, which I believe I was the only person who predicted that, even though it was by far the most obvious out of the three. So Mono Red's still going to run a Rampage, Mono Blue's still going to run a Rampage, and 3-color and Mono White Planeswalkers, and just I'm going to make a separate video about all the crap that they left in Standard. It's a disaster. Portal to Phyrexia should have been banned. I mean, I could go on. In fact, I will. Try and stop me. Jet Mirror, Arcane Bombardment, Broker's Ascendancy, but like I said, that'll be a separate video. Oh, also, Itali. The White Invoke, Obliterator, White Obliterator, Skrelv's Hive, and the number one is Liliana. So we get to play with that trash for another, oh, wait a minute, I almost said it wrong, 1.3 years. There is no rotation. That was a disaster. So we have next summer is when they might ban Breach the Multiverse. You have actually got to be kidding me. Yes, they are. They're pulling the old switcheroo here. The fall big ban announcement is actually going to be in August. I didn't immediately catch that, and apparently neither did people on Reddit. It's like the last sentence of the article, and it looks like a footer. Anyway, proceeding with the video. Okay, anyway, let's read what they wrote. Recently, we released an article talking about Tabletop Standard and our renewed focus on to improve it at every level. Every level? No, you barely did one level. Anyway, today represents our second step towards delivering that goal. I really wonder what step 3 and 4 are, and they better be locking in Standard to 2-color. Oh, and shortening the rotation, which, ooh, crossing my fingers for that one. When talking to players about bans in Standard, okay, when talking to net decking, tryhard douchebag follower cult members on Twitter, let's just call it what it is. So when talking to quote-unquote players about bans in Standard, most of the community feedback we've received, whether coming from players competing at top levels of the Pro Tour, or those enjoying a more relaxed Wednesday night Standard at their local gaming store, sure, I'm so sure you talked to them, has focused on how disruptive our current banning cadence can be. See, anybody who would say, you ban stuff too often, that's a net decker. They just want to take someone else's work, spend the money one time, bitch about the price, and then go to F&M and beat 12-year-olds. And then recover some of the cash they wasted on prizes while also pissing everybody off, inviting nobody to the game, contributing nothing to the community, and just generally being a menace. That's who they're catering to. Literally everybody else wants them to ban everything powerful until Standard gets back down to a comfortable power level. And that is the overwhelming majority of the community. I have multiple ways of measuring that, and every single one points to they are completely wrong about people saying, I want less bans, they're too disruptive. Look, the release of a new set is too disruptive. A ban is actually less disruptive. You just want to keep running your overpowered net deck is what it is, okay? It's selfish, and they need to stop listening to every single person who says that. Anyway, they say they're too unpredictable, too inconsistent, and hurt players' ability to have confidence in building and playing their decks. Build 5 different $30 decks like I always did. There you go, problem solved. I wonder if these people realize that if the power level was lower, they'd be able to build whatever they want and it would still compete. Oh wait, no they don't, because they don't build decks. Anyway, moving forward, we are going to change the cadence with which we manage our formats, particularly Standard, so that every single person who's not a careless, thoughtless, net decking dickbag is going to have to quit the game, because now we get to put up with the deck for an extra year. Man, these were the two stupidest decisions they could make back-to-back, and they got so much backlash on every social media, every comment on YouTube. People are downvoting them to oblivion. Do they think these people are bots? Do they think they're just like some stalker activists that just follow them around and try to influence their decision but don't represent the community? Do they think they're not paying customers? Because they are. So they go on to say, we're going to change our cadence with which we manage our formats, particularly Standard. Our goal is to make most of our format changes once a year for greater consistency. You know, instead of when they're needed. That is so stupid. This announcement will happen annually before fall previews begin. This will not only include Standard, but also Modern, Pioneer, Legacy, and Vintage. Technically, by the way, let me throw this in. They might pull this card out of their pocket where they're like, oh no, this is just a ban. Like, this is just what we're doing right now. The fall preview ban hasn't happened yet because I haven't finished reading this article. But as far as I know, they haven't called this the fall preview ban. So they might sneak another one in that's way more aggressive. I doubt it. They are so hands-off minimalist, and it's such crap. Nobody even plays paper anymore, so you get an instant refund for, I guess, the most obnoxious cards in your deck. But I don't know about you, but I am not going to sit there and play against Mono Blue Hottie Djinn for another year. I am not going to do it. And they did nothing about it, and now they're promising you've got 1+ years to play against this crap. And no matter how bad it gets, we're not going to do anything about it. Because they said every set release 3 weeks later, we will do an emergency ban, but only for, like, interactions from the set that was released. So they're not going to release, like, a reprint of Essence Scanner and be like, oh, that put the Hottie Djinn deck too far ahead. Nope, they're going to say, screw you, wait a year, or play something else, which would be nothing. Play a different game is my recommendation. There is nothing left. Casual manage a ban list yourself, kitchen table. And then you don't need any of the new crap they're printing, unfortunately. Great business plan, WotC. I wonder why that's already happening. Guess you haven't figured it out yet. So, not only the standard ban will happen then, but also Modern, Pioneer, Legacy, and Vintage. So, all of those formats are not going to be fixed in any way. No matter how bad it gets, they don't care. They will lose customers to cater to the 1% that are saying, we don't want to ban though, we want to keep running our stupid net decks. Oh, but also, can you do something about mirror matches? These people are hypocrites. They're awful. They shouldn't be in the community. So this ridiculously wordy crap article goes on to say, broadly, our goal of Standard remaining a fun and healthy play environment hasn't changed. That's funny because that has changed. However, we will be placing more scrutiny on cards and play patterns that have been in play longer to ensure Standard is a fresh, engaging, and continually exciting format. Then why the hell are people still playing Hottie Djinn? Mono Blue, Red Rush, Double Strike Boost. I just got to Mythic with it in case you're missing that. In addition to the yearly announcement, we will also have a banner-restricted update on the third Monday after every set release specifically dedicated to addressing large environmental imbalances. Oh, is that what we're doing now? Not problems created by the set. Now it's just large environmental imbalances. Okay, walked that one back a little bit. Jeez, might want to replace your shoes after walking that back so far. These will, by and large, happen after the Pro Tour. Yep, can't piss off the pros and their stupid net decks while 6 people watch on Twitch. Our intention is that it should be very rare for us to use this 3-week window to make standard changes. If a new card immediately... Oh, there you go. If a new card from the set just released, immediately and dramatically has a negative impact on a format, we believe it's important that our players don't feel stuck with a bad format for upwards of a year. Well, that's going to happen. You are setting that up to happen. You lying morons. We will reserve this window for cards on the level of Felidar Guardian as a tool we hope to never to use. Ideally, most standard updates should take place only once per year to renew players' confidence in their deck selection and construction. That said, we are banning 3 cards from Standard today to help make this transition. We felt it was important to begin this new era of Standard with a clean slate. If you call this a clean slate, you are out of your damn mind. So without the specter, spelled wrong, of recent ban talk hanging over the format. To do so, we decided to make the following changes. So everyone's like, they should ban this. What if they ban this? I don't know if I want to build this because they might ban it. This is getting pretty bad. This deck's pretty egregious. Maybe they're going to ban it, but we don't know when. So their solution to that is absolutely agreeing to not ban it, to do nothing about it. What the f*** were they thinking? So you already saw the cards. We've been watching the rise and the dominance of the core 3 color shell based in black-red, whatever that means, over the past several set releases and premier level tournaments. Well, you shouldn't really look at premier level tournaments because that doesn't reflect what the community is actually playing and what everybody cares about. Yeah, everybody copies them, but they improve on it and the meta still changes. It's not quote-unquote solved as quickly as it used to be. There's too much complexity and there's not just one best deck, you know? You can build a deck that can fight it. That's why everybody just resorted to, Well, it's tier like 1.1, but it's hyper control. It doesn't let them play anything, so I'm pretty much going to win most matches. That's what they've retweeted to, because they're like, well, I have to be able to stop everything. So I'm just going to run a deck that stops everything. So we believe these changes will help reduce the win rate of the dominant strategy in the format, so that all three of those are arguably in the same deck or overall archetype, but they missed a couple, so it doesn't really matter. Liliana needs to go, and now we get to deal with her for another fucking year. So blah, 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 entry point for Wilds of Eldraine. No, nobody's going to buy it, nobody's going to play it, because you didn't go far enough. So, Freaky Jiki has been the backbone of strategies based in Black-Red and one of the strongest cards in the format for the entirety of its tenure in Standard. Its ability to generate resources, card flow, and be a must-kill threat, it's a terrible way to write that, is unmatched at its level of efficiency. Counterplay available to it is low, yeah, and frequently costs much more than 3 mana, and it is especially difficult to beat on the draw. Yeah, if they go first is what they mean. Whoever goes first wins in Standard right now anyway, especially me, especially the deck I'm running that I got to Mythic with. By removing Freaky Jiki, we hope to reduce the power of black-red decks, but also make deck-building choices for these strategies more meaningful as to whether they want a threat, card selection, or the ability to enable reanimation. For these reasons, as well as the high play rate of the card across many decks, Freaky Jiki is banned. Next, we got Reckoner Bankbuster, the number 1 card that needed to be banned. Well, next to Haughty Djinn. It has been the go-to card advantage engine for many decks in Standard since its release. As a colorless card, it has been effortless to slot into a wide variety of colors and strategies. This is an awfully wordy way to say it gives every single deck way too many cards, and that's bad. There you go. Let's see if they can get there in this giant paragraph. Its general ubiquity and strength have pushed out our card or other card advantage options too much as a colorless card. Really, you didn't do anything about Shadow Spear, though, which gave every single deck trample and lifelink, every color, every archetype, and every strategy for 1. Anyway, it has put stress on creature sizing, as creatures that can crew Reckoner Bankbuster have been more favored than others. To promote more diversity and give power back to other types of cards in different colors, Reckoner Bankbuster is banned. And then Invoke Despair. This was a fucking mistake. It's way too powerful, we massively f***ed up, and we didn't think anybody could pull off mono anything because all the pro douchebags are running 3 color. Oopsie doopsie. Is what I wish it said. Instead, they wrote, has been the premier curve topper in most black-red decks. Shut the f*** up. It's in mono black and you damn well know it. Lily Obliterator Hyper Control. That is the deck it was in. That is the deck it needed to be removed from. You already gutted Freaky Jiki with the other 2 bans, you absolute lying f***. So not only is it powerful for managing the battlefield and generating card advantage, no, it's just attrition, shut the hell up, but it has been excellent for shoring up some of Black's weaknesses. Yeah, they thought Black's weakness was just the color pie. Oh, Black couldn't quite do every single fucking thing. So they're like, let's have it blow up enchantments. How's that working out for you? Now people can just run mono because it does everything. Black has no weakness now. Traditionally, playing a wide variety of permanent types is strong against decks with a lot of 1-for-1 removal. Invoke Despair makes it especially difficult to find ample counterplay to Black strategies. Yeah, you just sit there and wait for them to draw it. What a great strategy. Yeah, so it's hard to find ample counterplays to Black strategies, as it is an effective card to cast on empty boards. And yeah, this is the thing. It's a hyper control card. Will you just ding them for 6? It's ridiculous. And mix that with hand disruption and Lily, recurring hand disruption, you're just going to lose. It's ridiculous. It's completely out of control, and it still is. So blah, 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 blah. Praise them on enchantments and planeswalkers that are historically effective against the types of removal-heavy strategies. Well, not when they can blow it up later or remove it from your hand early game, because now you just can't play anything. Due to its power level and negative impact on card diversity, Invoke is banned. So everything they said about that is pretty much false, because they went from, it's in black-red, and black-red is the enemy. Okay, then ban the 3/2 for 2 blood generator, you liars. Freaky Jiki was mostly in mono red. Okay, maybe splash color. Invoke was mostly in mono black, and Reckoner was in everything. Now with these gone, we still get to play Portal Resurrector decks with Invoke and Repair. We still get to play Haughty Djinn, that'll be fun. Red Rush, yay. Itali Super Ramp, great. Mono White Super Friends, that's a thing. White Green Enchantments, I think it's time to rein that in. It's getting a little too nuts, especially with the next 5 sets coming out. But don't worry, they've assured you that no matter how bad it gets, they won't do shit. Oh, unless they could take one card that they didn't test properly from the new set, throw it under the bus, and ban the whole deck. But it sounds like they're only going to ban a card from the new set if it's problematic, not a card from an old one. That's not how they do ban announcements, and I think they're lying to you, but that's what they're saying right now as of how it sits right this second. And that pisses everybody off. Now, the top couple of responses to this on Reddit are, one, people that are incredibly angry that wedding announcement wasn't banned, which, yes, I agree with that completely. Mono White is out of control. It's only going to go worse. And then a bunch of people mistakenly thinking that, oh, I can't wait till we get, they said 3 more sets worth of cards. It's either 4 or 5. You're just wrong about that. To grow the standard card pool. Every set with its own rare land cycles. Get ready for the new format called Oops, All Mid-Range. You know, you had me right up until that last part. You clearly, and everybody upvoted you, do not know what you're talking about. What gets better when you add sets? Pre-rotation the last 5 years, what have been the most egregious deck archetypes going back to Amonkhet, arguably Ugin. Hyper Control, cancel everything and win with 1 or 2 cards, which is super not mid-range. That's like the opposite of mid-range. And Red Rush. Remember Chain Whirler? Remember Goblin Tribal? Red wins becomes a thing when Red gets more cards to play Red wins with. A toddler could figure this out, but apparently people on Reddit are stupider than toddlers. I barely even need to tell you that. Then there's arguments about whether Orzhov mid-range that they didn't ban will still be a thing without Bankbuster. I don't believe it will. And also, how the hell are you going to beat Haughty Djinn? Blue-white board wipe-a-thon where they run 12 main-boarded board wipes and then win with 1 or 2 planeswalkers or 1 or 2 creatures. I've seen different variations of it, and remember, I'm in Mythic on Arena. People are still pissed that Tokasi's Welcome is still a thing. It shouldn't be because either that or Wedding should have been banned. 100% true. Another person that are saying, I'm disappointed, Mono Black is still going to absolutely stomp people in the nuts, to paraphrase. People complaining about various Praetors. Yeah. Boy, nobody's mentioning Portal Resurrector decks and nobody's mentioning Haughty Djinn. I guess they have a really, really, really short memory and also haven't played against Hyper Super Land Dump Itali, where you can now flicker Itali, although you can no longer clone Itali, so maybe they think, well, without being able to clone it, they'll have to flip it and then hit you with 11 Infect and like, beat you a turn later. Nobody's even going to play it. They don't have time to wait another turn unopposed. Another person pointing out that, why are they doing a ban right before rotation happens? Yeah, I mean, this year it's not going to, but next year. They're like, that doesn't make any sense. And yes, it does not. It is their best guess at what might happen in the future right before 50% of, or 1/3 of the cards, pardon me, cycle out. That's beyond stupid. A lot of people who finally have their heads screwed on straight are complaining about white, black, blue control decks. Yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, my Candy Cane deck is going to run you over before you even get your 3rd color down. And if it's not me, it'll be some dickbag running mono red with the +1 damage booster. Hope you like flying chickens. They really should have banned about 4 cards from mono red. Just to future-proof it and to just gut it right now. That one, I don't remember what it's called. I think Sticky Fingers, where every time you hit, you like get a treasure or a card or whatever. That's the most blue red card I've ever seen. It's literally like Rogue's Gloves, or like there's actually a couple 1-cost blue enchantments that do exactly the same thing. It makes no sense, and it's too damn good. They needed to get rid of the Chicken Fingers combo, which is the orange chicken, aka the Phoenix chick, and then Sticky Fingers. I think that's the name of the card. That combination is so toxic. And yeah, a removal, you get a 2-for-1. It doesn't matter because they would have strapped it on and already gotten the benefit from it. Oh yeah, just looked it up. Yeah, Sticky Fingers and you get a treasure. Not a card, but still. They don't need cards. They're going to beat you before their hand burns out. That's how it works. If that didn't work, they wouldn't be playing it. So all they actually need is more mana to cast more cards more quickly so that they can beat you. And then mono blue just doesn't let you do shit. It's just that simple. The Hadi Jin Leviathan deck, every single other card is control, and every time a new set comes out, they're going to add 1 or 2 little blue cards to it that make it even more impossible to beat. You won't be able to play your deck. What are they going to do? Ban Hadi Jin after the next release? That's bullshit. They're not going to do it. People are complaining about the Raffine Connive deck. I could see it. That with the Planeswalker backing, I've seen like a white heavy version. I've seen a couple different versions, but yeah, it's high ward, high counter everything, win with 1. It's a very, very drawn out version of an archetype that I've played a simpler version of it of quite often in history, which is Duck and Cover, aka Ender's Game. The first one's a play on words, and the second one's a direct reference to the end of the movie, so I won't spoil it. But your whole deck is get out a giant flying card, and then the whole rest of the deck is protect it. At all costs, you need to hit them and hit them hard 1 to 2 to 3 times until they're dead, and everything else doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is keeping your duck flapping through the air and ramming it down their throat. I used to play it way back in the day with, what was that, Shadows, or the next one that had Gisela in it? I actually drafted it and went 3 out of 4 wins in the rounds. It was hilarious. Or no, it wasn't a draft. I got her in my absolute otherwise trash pile of a pool, in my sealed pool. And so I just did 3 color, get her out and protect her, and it worked. Unless she was on the bottom of my deck, I was going to get her. And the entire rest of the deck was garbage. Absolute unplayable trash, but it won me 3 rounds, which is beyond hilarious. So once again, none of you have any idea what you're talking about. Hyper Control is not mid-range, first of all. And it doesn't matter because Mono Blue and Mono Red are going to dominate, and Mono Black is still going to be playable. Those are the 3 decks you should be worried about over the next couple set releases. And Portal Resurrector is about the most toxic thing I've ever seen, and it slots into other Hyper Control formats. And my Mono White deck is virtually unbeatable. There's too much enchantment control. Too many high-end board wipes. Okay, people pointed out I must have missed this, but there is going to be the first quote-unquote yearly banned and restricted announcement for the fall on August 7th, 2023. For the fall preview season of Wilds of Eldraine. So they have one more chance to do something about Hadi Jin, Portal, Repair and Recharge, Invoke Justice, Etali, Liliana, literally the entire archetype of Toxic in every color, ban every single one of them. But a good start would be that egregious green 1 cost and Skrull's Hive. And then to ban the majority of mono whiteness, and Breach the Multiverse, and Wedding Announcement, and Raffine, and Arcane Bombardment, and Jetmir and Broker's Ascendancy. And a couple others that I forgot to write down. So if they screw that up and fail to ban those, plus the ones that even I haven't thought of off the top of my head, then we're going to have a real shit standard for another year. So in other words, we're going to have a real shit standard for another year because they're so hands-off and minimalist. No, drop the freaking nuke. Sometimes when the cockroach infestation gets too bad, you just tent the house and gas the whole damn thing. Which is what I thought they were going to do, was shortening the standard cycle. Lengthening it, I almost thought it was like an early April Fool's joke. But then I realized that it's WotC, they have no sense of humor, and they don't know what the they're doing. So thanks for watching this cheery, awesome video. Leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.